Hi everyone, welcome to our session. This is going to be the very first session that I'm holding with Q, and we decided to record it because we want to help others understand how attachment style affects themselves in their life, but also mainly around the business and building a sustainable business. Uh, Today, I have with me Q. This is our very first session working together. Q, she's a business owner. She's running Inner Brilliance Collective on Skool. Uh, she's talking about the struggles of attachment style, how it's affecting her, how she's overcoming the struggles. She's sharing this because she also wants to help you guys understand what is affecting you and what you need to do further. So, Q, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to work with you. I'm so excited to do this with you. And if you can now tell me about you, what's your starting point? What are you trying to build? What have you done in the past to overcome your struggles? And what are your current struggles?
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity, Alexandra. My name is Q, and I run a community on Inner Brilliance on Skool called the Inner Brilliance Collective. And it was basically a community that I built for a past version of me that was experiencing some symptoms of extremely low self-worth and had an extremely difficult inner critic. And on top of all of this, she had some unhealthy coping strategies with how she was dealing with a difficult reality. So every time I experienced discomfort, every time I was, asked to step out of the box and do something that requires me to, put myself out there, I started experiencing discomfort and I would go into dissociation. I would start binge eating. I had so many unhealthy coping mechanisms, and I truly didn't know where to begin because I was carrying a lot of shame. I
Hmm.
actually started unpacking some of this work when I got into therapy, and I, spent quite a few years unpacking everything and realized that at the deep core, the actual core wound, the main wound that I was experiencing was the fact that I had extremely low self-worth and I did not think that I was good. I was worthy. I didn't think that I could trust myself. And then some traumatic events had happened in my life where I kind of learned not to trust others because some of my very painful experiences came from people that were supposed to protect me, that were supposed to, care for me. And this is where I learned that, okay, I can't trust me because I'm bad. I've always reminded that I am not good, that I'm this and that I'm that. And then, of course, people that I was supposed to trust, I ended up developing a relationship where I couldn't trust them. So I ended up developing this extremely difficult, disorganized attachment where I wanted things, but as soon as I got close, I was getting really good at self-sabotaging. And I would, you know, just go back to the start line, and then it's just staying in this state of anticipation. It's just, creating any kind of delusional fantasy to create some sort of certainty is what I got obsessed with. I just got fixated with the idea of being chosen, and I would do anything to stay in that state of anticipation, to stay in the state of, okay, one day it's going to happen. But as soon as I saw people that were interested in me or opportunities that I could take advantage of, I immediately pulled back because I didn't have any experience with dealing with discomfort. I didn't have any experience with, putting myself out there and identifying what were my areas of growth, what were my areas of, you know, um, excellence. I didn't know anything. All I knew is that I am this like restless person that wants to do something. I don't know what it is, but I just can't trust me and I can't trust others. And that's how I moved through life for so many years. And it was painful. It was painful.
Yeah, absolutely. This is everything you have described. First of all, um, I'm sorry to hear that you've been through all this, but on the other side, I hope that this is also what motivates you to go further, to overcome it now, go further and share with people and help others. So, but everything that you have described in here, it's literally textbook of disorganized attachment. Um, and the very first step in being able to create a secure attachment is awareness, to understand your past, to understand what happened, to understand how this affects you, and when things happen, for you to have the awareness that I'm functioning again based on my old patterns, based on my old behaviors. So awareness and being able to understand how you function, it's the very first step of change, which you already done it through deciding to work with a therapist and learn more about you. So congratulations, because this work is not easy to be done, especially for someone with disorganized attachment. Because like you said, you want the goals, you want to achieve your goals, but as soon as you're getting close to someone, as you're getting close to creating relationships, you turn around and run away. This is the exact pattern that a disorganized attached person does. So working on a therapy, deciding to work on your goals, it has this big challenge. You want to work, but as soon as you see results, you stop doing the work. So I know it's not been easy at all. Congratulations to you. So now we understand your past. Now we understand how your past um, helps you to see the world around you and how you function. What is now in the present? What is it that you're trying to build, and what is holding you back?
So, as far as the awareness piece is concerned, I feel like I've gotten really good at recognizing my unhealthy emotional patterns. They are definitely, they've moved from the subconscious brain to the conscious
Mm.
brain. But the one thing that I still, from time to time, truly struggle with is my nervous system regulation. It's
Yes.
like my system goes into this sort of like fight or flight discomfort that I sometimes don't know how to handle. For example, I have this really bad fear of being seen. I am aware of it. But as soon as I do something to put myself out there, for example, if I pull up the camera and I look into the camera and
Hmm.
speak, the judgment wound, how am I going to be perceived wound? Am I going to be made fun of wound? Am I imposter syndrome? All of these wounds literally show up all at once, and I literally start experiencing this physical discomfort where I feel like I'm probably going into a paralysis state.
Hmm.
And the discomfort physically is so difficult for me that I turn into a completely different person. So, the example that I would like to give you is that right now you and I are talking. I know that this is going to go on YouTube. A lot of people are going to see it. I'm okay with that. This is a very conversational. I'm actually quite comfortable in the setting. But as soon as I'm
Hmm.
put in front of a camera where I have to look into the camera and speak and look at myself and no one else is there, I start judging myself.
Yeah.
And I start experiencing this physical discomfort that is just so painful for me that maybe I am not used to of sitting with my discomfort for as long as, I should. I
Hmm.
don't know what it is, but it's that discomfort that makes me want to run. And then I go into hiding. And then I'm
Yeah.
hiding for the next, I don't know how many days. Because it's the physical discomfort that I don't want to experience. Logically, I understand things, but
Yeah.
physiologically, I don't know what this is and I don't know what to do with this.
Okay. And anything else that's affecting your business?
I think I am affecting my business the most because the
Yes.
way people join the community with the kind of enthusiasm these women have, because I mostly work with women that are above 30, that have an idea that, okay, I've been stuck in this state of not really knowing what I'm doing and what I should be doing. And now I want to change that
Hmm.
behavior and I want to work toward pattern recognition and become a better version of myself. So the need is there, the way people join my community, the way, but I think that it's I start judging myself. There's a voice inside my head that starts saying, what makes you capable of doing this kind of work? And it's my lived experience. This is like my life story, and that makes me very much capable of doing this work. The way I can understand the pain, I don't think anybody else can, because I've lived it. So
Yeah.
it makes me very much capable of doing this work. But it's just, it's like my inner critic sneaks up on me in all these really tricky ways, and it has a fine it does its thing where it finds a way for me to get into this like self-sabotaging behavior where I'll go back into hiding
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I'll come out. So it's just that I don't want to go back into hiding. I'm gonna find a way to sit with my discomfort because I know it's a very temporary feeling and it's gonna pass. But it's that physiological pain that I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. So for now, you have a fear of being seen, struggling with imposter syndrome because you don't think you have enough experience. Do you still think, do you still have the feeling of not being enough, not good enough?
It does pop up from time to time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then self-sabotaging through yes, when your people, when members, new members join the community. Okay, so what would you like to achieve for future? What
I
goals
think
you have in mind?
for me, it's just that I understand that the discomfort is going to come with me trying new things, with me putting myself out there, with me getting over my fears. I understand that part, but I just want to understand what this is. So when I'm experiencing that physical discomfort, I can sit with myself because I have the knowledge, the education with what is actually happening inside my body and what I'm experiencing, why am I experiencing, how long this is going to last, and if I write this out, how it's going to make me stronger, how it's going to make me wiser, how it's actually going to help me build self-trust within me that I can handle pain
Yeah.
is what I want to achieve, hopefully.
Okay. So, like I said earlier, the first thing of being able to change and progress and to switch to secure attachment is understanding and awareness. I part of my work, I like to educate my clients as well. Not that you don't understand because you've done the work, you know the feeling, but to explain what is actually happening. Because later on, when you go and you are on your own, you have the awareness, and you're like me, hopefully, I'll pop in your mind with my explanation. So, you know that attachment style we develop through our experiences during childhood. Now, it's not just the experience and how we see the world, but like you mentioned, it's about our nervous system. And it's about the other chemicals that we have in our body and how they are released during these interactions and during the events, how they are released in our body. So, when we are born, the very first chemical is oxytocin through that we release in our body through the connection that we have with our mom. When the child is passed to their mom and the mom is holding the child closely to the chest, that's a massive explosion of oxytocin, and that keeps keeps being released through every day, every single interaction that we have with our mom. If that relationship is broken, oxytocin is not being released, and the child becomes stressful, becomes he starts wanting things, and if the main caregiver is not there to help the child to give what the child needs, the child becomes stressed. So we have our cortisol is through the roof. Then later on, if the child grows up in an unbalanced family where, if there are arguments, the child doesn't understand how to relate. If the child needs something and he goes to the parent and the parent says, okay, have it now, and then 2 seconds later on, he changes his behavior, the child doesn't understand. And when depending on the attachment style, certain chemicals are blocked. We function with disorganized attachment style, we're constantly on the lookout for danger, but also we recognize that those who have the maximum potential to basically kill us and put us in danger are exactly the same person who we need them the most, and we need them to protect us. So the behavior then becomes that I know that you're gonna hurt me, but I need you close to me. So I need uh, to to be an actor in front of you to show you that um, I can, I can provide for you. I'm trustworthy. Now, in this situation, cortisol level is high and oxytocin is not produced. What is happening, to bring it to your exact situation, that you don't understand how to deal with these feelings that you have in your body, you need to rebalance your hormones, and you can do this only through different experiences. To build trust, you need to increase your levels of oxytocin. And oxytocin can only be released through bonding with safe people. People that around you feel safe with, being that people around your family or your partner. No matter how, in psychology, when we, and most common one is CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. When a negative event happens, we form our vision, and next time we have our thoughts. And if you want to change your thoughts and your behavior, you just have to write down your thoughts, reframe them, and when the same situation repeats, you just have to bring out your new thought and repeat the thought. The problem is doing that when your hormones are not in balance will just create more anxiety, more stress, more panic in your body because of the chemicals that are released. Oxytocin is blocked. You can't do it. You're functioning, you are in disorganized attachment style. It functions in a fawn state. Fawn is constantly pleasing people. You are not in fight flight, you are not freezed, but you are fawn. You know that is dangerous and you need to act in front of others. So you need to make them want you and protect you. So in your situation, when it comes about nervous system regulation, it's about creating new relationships, to understand that you need new relationships, you need bonding, and this can't happen over the night. First, you need to start with yourself. Like you said, you massively struggled with self-worth before, and even now, self-worth, imposter syndrome. In order to repair, to create secure attachment, two things need to happen. First, it's to create a positive self-concept, and second, to meet the needs of our child, our inner child. Now, self-concept, it's the way we see, we believe, we see ourselves, we believe ourselves, about ourselves. And it has three components. First is self-image. Self-image, how you see yourself holistically. Not just body image, but about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, capabilities, you as the person that you function in society, your relationships, your beliefs, your values. This is your self-image. If your current self-image is damaged, nothing else going further can function. So self-concept, we have self-image, self-worth. You know very well what self-worth is. And then it's the future self. Who do you want to become? Of course, as a human being, our goal constantly has to be a constant growth and development. This is our aim in everything that we do. We want to grow, to evolve all the time. So what is who you want to become? What's the version of future self that you have? Have you thought about it? Do you have it in your mind? Do you have a clear future version of yourself?
I actually do, Alexandra. I think
Yeah.
that what I have in mind and what I want is the fact that I want to be an individual that is very clear-headed, that has the capacity to make genuine connections, somebody that is, very comfortable with how she looks, with how she speaks, with how she carries herself. And then also, I I don't want to be someone that is consumed with the thoughts of how am I being perceived, if I am being liked, I just want to walk in and I want to have enough um, confidence in my value and belief system that I say what I want to say and I walk away without putting too much emphasis on, okay, how did other people take it? Like, did I make anyone
Mm.
mad? That hypervigilance that does creep in into my life today from time to time is just extremely exhausting. And I'm going to do whatever I can to just get rid of it so I can
Yeah.
just be.
Okay. This is about you yourself. But do you have a clear vision of who, like, this is kind of who you want to become internally? But then regarding your all the areas of your life, your relationships, your intimate relationship with your partner, then strictly because we're speaking about business, looking at your business, do you know the version of yourself that you want to be in the business? Because at home, even if we grow, even if we are securely attached, when we are at home in home environment, we kind of behave a bit differently than when we are the business owner, the entrepreneur building a business. We switch into this persona of building the business. Do you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, how you want to run your business, how you want your business to look like? What does a day in your life exactly looks like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep? Do you have this clear vision?
I want to become a subject matter expert. I want to be invited into podcasts. I want to do speaking events. I want to do workshops. I want to do
Mm,
seminars. I want to do webinars. I want to have a community that is well established, with the group coaching, with the support system, with people, you know, coming to this like one-stop shop with everything that they need in order to truly become aware of their own, patterns, and then I want my community to be that space where you don't have to know anything before you begin, but as you follow the path, as you stay with me for some time, you'll be able to find so many things about yourself and then start becoming more aware of behaviors that are no longer serving you and
mm,
finding ways of getting rid of them and finding new hobbies and new behaviors and new habits that you can cultivate in your life to truly become a better version of yourself. So I want my community to be that one-stop shop that has everything that people need in this state where they're experiencing low self-worth and they have unhealthy coping mechanisms and they want to do the pattern recognition work. I
perfect.
want my community to be that. So I want to become a subject matter expert. I want to be the women that people can come to and speak to um,
That's perfect.
about this particular topic. Yeah.
That's perfect. You can tell that you have done a lot of work when it comes about your attachment style. So congratulations on this. But now let's start with the first step. Because like I said, when we want to heal our attachment style, to become securely attached, we need to look at our self-concept. And first, it's the current self-image, your self-concept. If you are to describe yourself right now, what would you, how would you describe yourself?
Alexandra, because I still experiencing a lot of shame around this from time to time because there's a part of me that thinks that I shouldn't be here.
Hmm.
Where should I be? It gets confused on that too. So I'm going to close my eyes and tell you what some of the things that I do
Yes.
experience from time to time that I'm not happy about. So it's the hypervigilance. It's that fear of being seen, fear of being perceived, fear of being judged. It's that there's a part of me that thinks, oh my God, like if right now I had 153 women, and my there's a part of me that thinks if the community ends up growing really fast and I end up, going to more than 500 members, do I even have the enough bandwidth to deal with it? Am I even because I understand now that with uncertainty, my body experiences a lot of physical discomforting symptoms. And there's a part of me that is afraid to experience that.
Okay.
That is what I run from the most. And in order to avoid that, it comes up with all these different ways of me becoming distracted, like the hypervigilance. Let's worry about what other people are thinking of me. Let's stay into hiding and don't put ourselves out there because maybe we're not ready yet. Maybe we need to learn more, keeping me in this state of like, okay, let's read a couple books on this before we truly feel ready. Let's actually go buy another course and do that before we actually feel ready, because we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. And
Hmm.
it I know that it does this because it's trying to avoid me from feeling that discomfort
Hmm.
that comes with putting myself out there.
Okay. What else can you add about yourself, your self-concept? So not just strictly related to the business, but your self-concept, self-concept, your self-image, it's the holistic you. So when you think about yourself,
The So as I'm telling you this, something is tightening my chest and it's like pressing on my rib cage. So I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna tell you this. My inner critic is constantly at me and it's telling me, oh my God, all the people that you started with, that you graduated college with are doing so well. They have, they have been able to achieve all those things that they have achieved financially and professionally, and you're so behind. You're still trying to work through building a community that you're not even um you can't even take care of yourself. This physical discomfort that pops up, you become so scared of it, so you're not ready. So the inner critic is constantly at me, reminding me that I'm not ready, that I need to, like, maybe I need to get back into school and do my master's before I truly feel ready. And then it says, okay, you know what, why don't we, after the master's, let's get into a PhD program to truly become a subject matter expert before we start this thing. Like, it's doing everything that it can for me to even get started. And the physical pain that pops up, it's so painful. It's so painful that I run from this pain because I've experienced it in moments when I didn't have support, when I didn't have the education, when it was just pure survival. So I have a lot of trauma attached to this, like, physiological discomfort. And there's a part of me that runs from it. It'll do anything not to feel this feeling. It'll
absolutely,
binge eat. It'll go into dissociation. It'll go into hiding. It'll do anything not to feel this.
absolutely. Now, I asked you twice about your self-concept, and both times you described the negative side of a self-concept. Not even one positive thing about yourself, not even one achievement, not even the fact that you know an element, your relationship, your how you relate in the social world, being a daughter, being a mom, being a sister, being a friend, being you've been through college, you graduated, your past achievements, absolutely nothing positive about yourself. But it is okay because this is how you learn how to function. You you didn't learn how to discover yourself and how to appreciate yourself. So when you're a child, you only learn how to defend yourself, and you knew that I'm not good enough, and therefore I need the people around me. Those who hurt me are also the people that can save me. So I just need to perform in front of them to cover my emotions, forget about my needs, forget about who I am, and just perform for them so they will not hurt me. but see that, I'm doing all the things for them and therefore they will need me around. Now, again, I said in order to become securely attached, we need to have a balance, to have a positive self-concept. And it starts with the self-image. When I asked you about your future self, who you want to become, you know who you want to become. But your self-image is so like out of, is not even closely in line with your future self. Now, if you don't see yourself for who you truly are, you'll never be able to work on the things that will help you achieve the future version that you want to become. Okay? So this is the very starting point, that the very first exercise that I would like you to do to understand your self-concept. And because now what's happening, you are functioning from your emotional side. And you need to switch a bit into your rational thinking side. And we need to look in your past and with some help for you to actually answer some questions about the facts. Like, can you tell me your achievements, your most important achievements that you had through your life until this point?
For me, it would be the fact that I've always been somebody that was not afraid of, getting on a stage and speaking in front of a crowd. I've been a debater since I was in fourth grade, and I did it all the way up until ninth grade. And then I moved to the US, a completely new country, didn't speak the language, got through high school, did really well, got a job, always was able to make friends, always was able to create my own group of people. And I was always somebody that was um, quite likable. And now I don't know if I was truly being myself, or it was just the loneliness within me. Again, my system is taking me, down the path of thinking maybe our achievements are not as good as we think they are. But let
Yeah.
me let me bring myself back. Let me bring myself back. And I was able to make friends. I worked at corporate America for about 10 years, did well, did financially well, was able to excel in different roles. And now I'm pursuing a dream that I've had since I was a little girl. I wanted to create a community. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to speak in front of people. I wanted to work on TV. And that's what I'm working toward right now.
Bless you. So you see already, well, I gave you the prompt, I gave you the help. And when you talked about your achievements, look at you, you're smiling, you remember your achievements. So all these negative things that you described about yourself, they put you into a negative state. They put you, your nervous system is now activated straight away. Danger around, danger, danger. You are constantly operating from this danger mode. But when I asked you about your achievements and you thought critically, you put your emotional side on your emotional mind on the side, and you're thinking from critical thinking, critical mind. You remembered everything. You brought everything in your mind about your achievements, and they are part of you. But we quickly forget about them, and we create this narrative about our life, about who we are, which is just a story that we tell ourselves. Now, when you think about the negative um, description that you told me, hypervigilance, fear of being seen, you think you not being enough, and you're self-sabotaging, imposter syndrome. What all these characteristics say about you?
Alexander, they're all tied to this one event that happened when I was in seventh grade.
Mm.
Now, for me to tell about this is something that I'm just gonna have to work toward maybe in another session when I am feeling ready, because even as I'm speaking of it, something is pressing on my rib cage.
Mm.
And it's actually tied to a very specific event that caused a really big traumatic event to happen in my life. And I was judged, I was looked down upon, I was rejected, I was almost shunned.
Mm.
And it all happened because I put myself out there and got some sort of recognition. And so it's tied to a very specific event. And after that, everything that I wanted to achieve just went on the side, and I went downhill with just always believing that, you know what, I need to protect myself. I need to do whatever I can not to feel what I'm feeling. And since then, I've been dissociating. My dissociating thing started during that time frame when I was in seventh grade. And the binge eating started maybe when I was 18 with another traumatic event. But every unhealthy coping mechanism that I have that I've been using all the way up until now to cope with this feeling that I'm feeling is tied to some extremely traumatic event.
Okay. And I'm not gonna go into the details of the event, but I want to ask you, after this event, what was it that you decided about yourself, the person that you are or who you are? What does it mean in your mind? What does that say about you since then?
So it put me into pure survival.
Yeah.
I had to be hyper vigilant to make sure that, I can detect danger before it arrives so I can be
Okay.
ready for it.
Okay.
And then also, um, just that I have to survive, even if I have to perform, turn into a complete chameleon, just not put my true self out there because that's what got me in trouble. So if I'm here, I'm gonna adjust my mood and everything according to this particular setting. And when I walk into the next setting, I just have to put myself in accordance to that setting and just, move across all these settings with just making sure that I'm just getting by and not putting myself out there and not putting myself in danger and not just pure protection.
Okay. Um, does it mean to you that you are not good enough, you don't have the strengths and abilities to deal with the world out there, and the world is a dangerous place?
Yes,
Okay. Now I want to ask you, do you believe that this is true? That you are
not
not good
anymore.
enough and the world is a dangerous place? Is it true?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Then why do you decide to keep this story and make this story something true about yourself?
Again, I feel like it's that physical discomfort that pops
Yeah.
up that I have absolutely no control over.
Okay. Then, because subconsciously, when the event happens, you let your mind travel back in time to that moment. But do you think that that moment when it happened, was it because of you or because of the people around who they maybe did not understand and they just decided to be bad people at that moment?
That's a very deep question, Alexandra. And this is the first time someone has asked me this. So I just need a few seconds.
Okay.
I mean, I was just being me.
Okay.
I was doing what I had always done since I was in third, fourth grade on stage. So all I had done was gone on stage and presented something, a speech that I had prepared. But it really put me on spotlight and I attracted a lot of attention. So I just did what I always did. But
Hmm.
the people around me didn't know how to support me with the recognition that I got, with the attention that I got, and everything just, this is why like I have such a difficult relationship with attention and with putting myself out there with the spotlight, with being recognized, with being found, that it's just, I think at that time I internalized it so deeply that it's like embedded somewhere deep within my subconscious. And it's truly a wound. It's truly
Mm.
a wound, like a core wound. And
Mm.
I see it for what it is, but I'm still like afraid to crack it open, to
Yeah.
let all the energy out of it.
Yeah. I want to let you know now that you said it on your own. You've done what you always did, being on the stage. So you've been so many times on the stage, different kind of public, different people around you. Most of the time, you've been welcomed on the stage. People appreciated you. They seen you for who you are. But just with this occasion, which probably was a highly important and emotional occasion for you, it people reacted in a way that you did not expect it. And this affected you so deeply. And it happens with insecure attachment because probably at that time you might not recognize that you already had a disorganized attachment style. What happens with all insecure attachment styles, self-worth is low. And we value ourselves based on what's happening around. And it takes only one
Mm.
event, only one reaction from outside to damage ourselves. So probably that's why when you were a kid, because you are not seen and understood, you decided to go on the stage to put yourself out there. You're craving connection and love and understanding from those people. And subconsciously, this is how you decided to go and get that connection that you never received from home. And again, those people who always seen and appreciated you for what you're doing on stage later on became the same people who hurt you the most.
Yes,
And because
that
of
is
that,
exactly what happened.
someone with secure attachment style on that particular event would think, of course, you can be upset how people react. You can go through a few days of being upset and sad and not understanding what's happening. But someone with secure attachment would think that this is me doing the thing that I love the most. And I know that I'm doing well. Okay, maybe I need to improve, but I know I'm doing well because so many times I've been on the stage and I've been welcomed. I've been seen in positive light. But this time, it just happened to be surrounded by people who did not understand, by people who just like maybe some of them we also have to understand that we're not the only one with insecure attachment style, and that people out
Mm.
there with insecure attachments who like to attack others and they feel
Mm.
attacked by our behaviors. So therefore they react in a certain way as well. Okay. So I want you to understand in this moment and to make the decision that from today, that event, it doesn't speak about you, but it's just an event where you've been surrounded by people who are not right for you.
Mm.
Okay. And this brings me to the exercise that I was telling you, and I want to share my screen with you. And I'm going to send you the file because, like I said, the very first important exercise is for you to adjust your self-concept. Because again, when I asked you twice about your self-concept, you spoke only about negative sides of it, but we need to adjust them. And in this exercise, I'm going to give you some prompts for you to think logic, to think critically back in your life so you can adjust the way you see yourself. So I'm going to explain the exercise now, and after our call, I will send it to you. Are you okay with this?
Yes, yes, please.
Um, Let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
So this is, if you're going to look through the file, it's going to be quite a long file with some steps, but this is a step-by-step exercise that helps you design your future self, your what you are aiming for. And if you follow through this is not a one moment done exercise, but it's something that you need to work through in the future days and weeks and take it step by step. Okay. So First is the self-concept. The phase one, we just done it together. You tell me these negative sides, and then I will encourage you to do this exercise again on your own. When you are just you in your mind, make yourself a cup of coffee, take a few deep breaths, and relax. So write your self-concept, how you see yourself, with the negatives, with the positives. And then try to fit them in these categories. You have 7 categories, and these are areas of our life. Okay? I would encourage you to take this exercise one by one and not go through the phases and then do the exercise. Okay? Just take it one by one. And then once you put your self-concept, your characteristics, and what you're writing down, you feed them into these categories, you'll see a number here. This is where you need to put, if you wrote 3, for example, here, relational roles. If you say that you're a mom, you are a daughter, you are, I don't know, a cousin, you have 3 in here, okay? So you put them in order. And here in phase 3, you can see based on the numbers kind of which one is. This is just a guide, but we already know that you are in disorganized attachment style. Now the phase 4, this is the phase where you start taking steps to adjust your self-concept. In here, diversification action plan, it's giving you some prompts to expand your self-concept, to think further, like we just did earlier when I asked you about your previous accomplishments. In here, you are thinking, okay, from a relationships, where am I? Physical attributes. What can I say about myself? Okay. This is to expand the way you see yourself, because when you function, when your nervous system is like constantly on the lookout for danger, you only see the negatives. But we want to feed our mind with all that is true about ourselves and self-concept. And then this is about the self-concept. And then the second most important one is your timeline. You start with the day that you're born and today. And you write down your timeline, your memories, the most important memories that you have, and you write them in order of time. Why we want to do this exercise is because we want to discover patterns, how we behave, and how it's not just the business, but through our life, because these patterns affect our business. How we function in the world, we have the same in the business, and the business is affected. So we want to spot patterns. How many times do I start and stop? How many times do I run away? What other areas of my life am I hiding and running away? Because working on your nervous system, your nervous system and your mind cannot differentiate between you being a business owner and you being a partner relationship, intimate relationship. Okay, all events out there, they are perceived the same as something that has the potential to kill you, to cause deep pain. So we want to understand how you function in the world before you do the business specific work. So in here, you build your timeline, then you look at areas where you have gaps, where you have crowded areas with massive emotional impact. And then again, you think about, you switch on into your critical mind and you fit in more positive events. If you're lacking in positive events, you fit on neutral events in your life. Because again, this will feed your mind to show it that what you've experienced is not just negatives that are there to put you in danger, but you, as the human being that you are, you manage to keep yourself alive in this world. You manage to deal effectively with certain situations. So you have the skills, you have the ability to be out there. Okay? And then the most important part of it from here is step number 4. to balance your life blueprint. Okay, so you have to think now. You look at step 1 and the timeline, you understand where you are, and you have to take in here, and from the step 1, you have to think what, because you know your life vision now, and you have to think, okay, what do I need to work on right now? What skills, what characteristics of myself that you put at number 1 do I want to work on? And when you become intentional about it, for example, if there is something about relationships that you want to work on, you become intentional that you want to work on your relationships, and what is a small step that you can take. For example, in here, because you're trying to build a community, and you mentioned that you're kind of running away when new members join the community. If you decide to work on a relationship, will be too much saying that as soon as a member joins in, I'm just going to send messages, I'm going to invite on the call, I'm going to do this, this, and that. It will be overwhelming for a nervous system. But think of what is one thing that I can do. One thing that you can do is just to send a simple welcome message to your members, okay? Without saying that, hey, come, let's join on a call, on private call, all these massive things. One simple step that you can take. Only by understanding your self-concept, your self-image, understanding, and then, like I said, creating the whole picture of your self-concept, feeding your mind with the reality, with who you are actually, not just from the perspective of survival that you're functioning from, and then taking steps to work towards the person that you want to become, to create a balanced self-concept, then you are ready to move on the next step. Now, when it comes about how you can regulate your nervous system, like I said, it's about putting yourself in the situations, but taking it by small steps, small approaches. Before you taking the example of the creating content that you turn the camera on and the feeling that you have. Maybe you can break it down into starting, okay, I want to create content, I want to create a video. What is my video going to be about? You create the plan of the video, bullet points, you know that exactly what you want to talk about. Then before you record it, you sit down with yourself, take a few deep breaths, and have a talk with yourself. Say that I know that my nervous system will react from my old patterns. I know that I'm gonna feel the heavy feeling on my chest. I'm gonna start thinking about the judgments and the fear of being seen, so on and so forth. But this is just my old patterns. Nothing. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Imagine that you are having a discussion, like if your friend will be there in your situation, what would you say to your friend? Yeah. You also have to feed, again, your nervous system and your mind with accomplishments. Don't just post a video and leave it there, forget about it. After you post the video, maybe next day come back to it and say, okay, I posted the video. What are the reactions to it? Did anyone say anything negative? Or if they said, because there will be people leaving negative comments, bad comments, so on and so forth. Is this true about myself? Are they actually reacting to myself, or they are reacting because something that I said upsets them? Okay. But before you're able to work on your nervous system, you have to fix your self-concept. Because no matter how much work you want to do on your nervous system through nervous system regulation, like breathing, reframing how you think about yourself, creating safe relationships, finding someone, the most important thing when it comes about creating relationships, it's to find a person that you feel safe around. Being that a friend, a cousin, maybe you find a partner, if you have a partner, someone that you feel safe around. Who's your safety net? And then with that person, you can talk about your feelings. You can talk so that you have one safe relationship and that you can build upon. Okay. So this is the starting point. Working on the nervous system, becoming securely attached. It is a long road, especially for disorganized attachment. Disorganized attachment, it's the hardest one up there. It's the hardest one and it's the most exhausting one to be living with. It can be done, but it requires patience and requires some work to be done. Now, tell me about the exercise. Do you understand the exercise? The way I explained.
Yes. I feel like the exercise is gonna help me explore the areas that I'm not even that I am extremely afraid to explore. But I think now that there's a structure, it's gonna make things easier for me because my brain sees, okay, we're starting here and we're actually going somewhere with this. So it's not like a random concept that we're learning and we're gonna have to sit with that education and we wouldn't know how to apply it to our lives. So this is why I really like what you've created because I can start somewhere, I can go with it, somewhere with it. So I'm super excited. This is
Absolutely.
good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the starting point with it. We need to look at the self-concept. Um, I'm gonna see you in the next session. We're gonna discuss about it. And we are gonna, in the next session, we are gonna create a plan how to bring both your self-concept and your future self, your future vision about your person and business to bring them align what you need to do for this. Yeah, we're going to create a plan to align them, and from there we are going to look into the nervous system regulation, specific nervous system regulation that can help you through the events. That's
Yes.
with all the
So
situations.
I know we're coming very close to the end, but one thing my therapist always tells me that I've literally written down in so many places in my house is that this discomfort that I'm feeling, it lasts around 90 seconds. So it's
Mm,
like you have to ride out the wave. And the
mm,
more you ride out the wave, the more you get comfortable with it, the more you start learning about the wave, and the more the intensity of it starts to die down. What I have done in the past that I've always run from the wave.
mm,
And that's why
mm.
the intensity of the wave has turned into like this really big, scary monster that
Yeah,
I like run from all the time. So I am finally learning to see the wave and to ride the wave, but I still like that fear of
yeah,
actually riding the wave and thinking, oh, maybe I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna drown myself
yeah,
in
yeah,
this like ocean of, not being able to trust myself.
yeah.
So thank you so much for the session. It was powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I seriously, I'm glad that we did this because, you know, this work is hard and it's very difficult to do it alone. Just like how I said, that piece of it, the piece of, a new term that I learned and
Mm,
I explore it, but then I don't know how to fit it into my life and what to do with it. I feel like that's where we kind of lose ourselves in this like self-improvement work. So having the structure really helps because we can start at one end and then we can go with it on another end. So I'm very
yeah.
happy. Thank you.
You're welcome, Q. Um, you're very welcome. I'm also happy to work with you because we know each other for a while. I know what you're trying to build. I understand the vision, what you're trying to achieve with your community, and I like it and I support it. So it's an absolute pleasure to work with you. I'll send you the exercise. We plan our next session, but in between the sessions, let me know how it's going and keep me updated. Okay? Perfect.
100%. Thank you. Thank you,
Perfect. I'll catch
Alexandra.
you up. Have a lovely rest of the day and we'll speak soon. Take care of you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Yeah.